My name is Margaret Collins. I am 79 years old and I live with my only son, David, and his wife, Emma. For many years, this house was filled with warmth, laughter, the smell of tea in the morning, and the quiet comfort of family. After my husband passed away, life changed. The silence in the house grew heavier, but David stayed close. He promised me that I would never be alone. He cooked for me sometimes, bought my medicine, and asked every evening, "How are you feeling, Mother?" I was grateful. I believed that love would always stay the same. But time has a strange way of testing love. At first, I noticed small changes. David started coming home later than usual. He looked tired, distracted. I thought maybe his work was harder. Maybe life was just wearing him down. But soon, his late returns became the new routine. When he walked through the door, his shoulders were heavy and his eyes no longer met mine. He would sit down for a moment, eat in silence, and leave again. And slowly, my evenings became lonelier. Then Emma began to change too. She used to bring me tea and talk about her day. Small things, but they made me feel seen. Now, she sighed often. She complained about money, about bills, about my medicine. One night, I heard her voice through the kitchen wall. "David, we can't afford this anymore. The food, the bills, your mother's medicine. It's too much." David's voice was quiet. "I know, Emma. We'll manage." But the word manage no longer carried hope. It carried exhaustion. I sat in my room, wrapped in my old blanket, pretending not to hear them. But I heard every word. The next days, Emma's tone grew colder. When she spoke to me, it was only to say, "The food is on the table." Or, "Be careful, don't spill the tea." Her voice had no warmth, no kindness, just duty. I began to walk slower, quieter, as if I could disappear between the walls. I didn't want to be a burden. Some nights I lay awake, listening to their footsteps, afraid of what tomorrow would bring. The house that once felt alive now sounded empty, like a place waiting to be forgotten. One evening, I heard my name in their conversation. "We can't keep her forever," Emma said sharply. "The medicine, the food. One day we'll have to leave her somewhere." David didn't answer right away. The silence between them was louder than any argument. Then, in a voice I barely recognized, he said, "I know, Emma. I'll think of something." My heart stopped. For years, that voice had been my safety. Now it became my fear. That night, I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling and remembered the boy who once held my hand when he was scared of the dark. The boy who promised to protect me when I was old. How could that boy grow into this silence? Days turned into weeks. David avoided my eyes. Emma avoided my room. The air in the house grew heavier. I started talking to myself, whispering memories just to remember I still had a voice. One morning, I spilled tea on the table. My hands trembled. Emma looked at me, sighed loudly, and walked away. I cleaned the mess with tears instead of a cloth. That night, I had a fever. My body felt weak and heavy. I called softly, "David, please water." No one came. Hours later, David entered. His face looked worried but distant. He gave me a small glass of water and said, "Try to sleep, Mother." Behind him, Emma stood, her arms crossed, her eyes cold as winter. Something in my heart told me that night would change everything. The next evening, David came to my room. "Mother, let's go for a drive," he said gently. "You'll feel better. The air will help you." I wanted to believe him. Even now, even after all the silence, I trusted my son completely. The drive was long. The road was dark and quiet. The world outside the window disappeared into shadows. Finally, the car stopped. "Where are we, David?" I asked softly. "Just rest, Mother," he said. He helped me out of the car, laid me on the cold ground, and covered me with a thin blanket. He didn't look into my eyes. "David, please," I whispered. He hesitated for a moment, and then walked back to the car. The sound of the engine grew faint until it vanished completely. The night swallowed me. The air was cold and sharp. I tried to move, but my legs were too weak. I could see only the stars, distant, silent witnesses to my pain. I prayed, not for myself, but for him, because I still loved him. A mother's love is strange. It survives even in betrayal. Hours passed. The sky began to pale. When dawn came, I heard footsteps and a man's voice. "Ma'am, are you okay?" I opened my eyes slowly. A stranger knelt beside me. He gave me water and called the police. They took me to the hospital. I stayed there for many days. Doctors said it was a miracle that I survived the night. When the police asked about my family, I told them the truth. But I begged them not to punish my son. "Please, he is not a bad man," I said. "He just forgot his heart." After I recovered, they sent me to an old age home. I was afraid of new faces, new walls, another kind of loneliness. But something unexpected happened. The people there smiled. They shared stories. One woman named Rose sang old songs every afternoon. Another, Henry, told the same joke every day. But it still made me laugh. Slowly, I began to live again. I walked in the garden. I felt the sun on my face. I learned that sometimes love returns. Not from where you expect, but from strangers who choose kindness. Now, every morning, I sit near the window of my new room. The sky is the same color as the one above my old home, but here the air feels lighter. Sometimes I still think of David. I wonder if he remembers me, if he ever feels regret. I pray for him every night. A mother's heart never stops loving. It just learns to love differently. I used to think my life ended the night I was abandoned, but I was wrong. That night was not the end. It was the beginning of something new. Because even at 79, I learned that life can still offer second chances, and that love, even when broken, can bloom again.